Dear students, we are in a new module where we are going to learn the bill of exchange. So in this module, I will explain what is a bill of exchange, what's a promissory note, parties to the promissory note, parties to the bill of exchange, differences between bills and promissory notes, differences between bills and checks. All this we are going to learn. This is a theoretical concept and this explanation is needed. We have to do the problems on bills of exchange. So this is important module. So the first one is why we need bill of exchange. So first one is you have to remember that most of the transactions in business are credit transactions. It's not possible to do complete cash transaction. If you restrict to cash transaction, then the volume of business will get affected. So business will allow credit transaction. Now purchaser gives the seller the credit instruments. So if you are giving a credit to a party, always we want something to depend upon, because on the date of the payment we have to collect the payment. So the purchaser is giving the seller some credit instruments. So these credit instruments are bills of exchange, promissory notes and checks. Now the next one is definition of bill of exchange. So Indian Negotiable Instrument Act defines a bill of exchange as an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument on a fixed future date or before. So either on the date of maturity they can make the payment or they can make the payment before the due date. So it's an unconditional order signed by the maker and it has got the direction to pay. A certain person has to make a certain payment also. The certain sum of money, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, whatever the amount in the legal tender, it is clearly mentioned in the instrument. So now specimen of the bill of exchange I have given. So one is stamp is compulsory and date will be there and the place will be there. Bangalore, 10th November 2020. 3 months after date, pay Arya Jacob or order the sum of 1000 rupees only for value received. So for the favors received or whatever the value she has received, he has to make the payment 1000 rupees. Signed by Surya Jacob and Mary Jacob. Her address is also given. So this is how the bill of exchange will look like. Now we have to see who all are the parties for this bill of exchange. So these 3 parties are there in a bill of exchange. First one is, I told you 3 names we have mentioned: Surya Jacob, Arya Jacob, Mary Jacob. So Surya Jacob is the drawer of the bill. She is the creditor and writes the bill of exchange on the debtor. So she puts her signature on the bill of exchange. Next is Arya Jacob is the payee of the bill. That is the person to whom the value of the bill is to be paid. Next is Mary Jacob is the drawee, that is the party on whom the bill is drawn. She becomes the acceptor when she indicates her acceptance of the instrument. So drawer, drawee and payee. 3 parties are there for a bill of exchange. Now sometimes the drawer and payee can be the same person. So I am giving a format with this bill of exchange where only 2 parties are involved. So then there will be only 2 parties to the bill of exchange. So if a bill is drawn only with 2 parties, that is in this case if we take the example, we are omitting Arya Jacob, Surya Jacob and Mary Jacob. That meaning Surya Jacob is the drawer and payee, whereas Mary Jacob is the drawee. So specimen of the bill of exchange with 2 parties are given in the next slide. So here stamp is there, Bangalore, 10th November 2020. 3 months after date, pay me or order the sum of 1000 rupees only for value received. See, the previous 3 parties are there, meaning we are making the payment to Arya. So here we are making the change. Surya is making the payment, pay to me or order. Either pay to me or whoever I am ordering you to make the payment. So Mary Jacob, her signature, her address is also there. This is how a 2-party bill of exchange will look like. Now features of a bill of exchange. The instrument must be in writing. That's very important. A written instrument. So we have seen that in the definition also. It's a written instrument. Then next point is it must contain an unconditional and express order to pay. Pay to me or order. Unconditional order. You cannot give any excuse. You have to make the payment on the due date. Now it must be dated. I told you the place is there and the date is also there. Parties to the bill must be certain and definite individuals. So whether it is 3 parties or 2 parties, the parties must be certain. and it must be signed by the drawer. We have seen that whoever making the instrument, they have to sign that. Amount to be paid must be certain, and it should be the legal tender, 1000 rupees or 2000 rupees or 1 lakh or 10 lakhs, whatever the amount, the legal tender, the amount should be clearly specified. Now date of the bill is important, and days of grace. See, January 1st if you are writing a bill, that meaning here our date is 10th November. So if it's 1 month, 10th December will be the maturity date, but we don't have to make the payment on 10th December. 3 days of grace you will get. That meaning December 13th only you have to make the payment. So days of grace is allowed in the case of bill of exchange. And now advantages of a bill of exchange. So first, what are the advantages of using bill of exchange? First one is legal document under the Negotiable Instruments Act. So it's a legal document. It's a negotiable instrument. It can be transferred from one person to another. Next is payable on the date of maturity. So I told you the date of the bill is very important, and if the duration, if it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then plus 3 days of grace. On that date you cannot give any excuse, you have to make the payment. No reminder is needed. You don't have to remind. Date of the bill, you have to make the payment. Promotes credit sale. So I told you, for the existence of the business, the entire business, it's surviving on credit sales. Complete cash sales we cannot insist. See, if you go to a petrol bunk or a medical shop, you can see that credit sales is not allowed. But in all other businesses, credit sales they are allowing credit sales, because with that only they can survive. Next is action against the dishonor of bills, including the drawee. If the bill is dishonored, the parties involved, they will get the legal punishment. Now, parties to receive the payment and make payment are certain. So the last features also we have seen that whoever the parties involved, whether it's 3-party bill or 2-party bill, the individual should be certain. Next is bills can be discounted with the bank. If you get a bill, you don't have to wait for the date of maturity. If you are ready to accept a rebate, you can discount the bill with the bank. Now bills can be negotiated and used in subsequent credit sales. These are negotiable instruments. You don't have to wait till maturity. One option, if you are in need of money, you can discount it with the bank. Another option is you can use it for your credit transaction. This instrument, you can give it to another party when you are making a credit sales. Then helpful in foreign trade, import-export trade, this is very important. And it's very helpful also because it encourages foreign trade. Now, check versus bill. You have to remember the check is also a negotiable instrument. Bill of exchange also is a negotiable instrument. What are the differences? So first is, I am preparing it in a table format because I am very particular that if you get a question, it should be, the distinction should be always in a tabular form. And here I have given only words for explanation. But when you are writing, you have to write the full sentence. So points of distinction, second column is checks and third column is bills. So involvement of the bank. Check, you have to remember that without bank, check is not there. Check we are always writing on a bank. Whereas bill drawn on any person. It can be on any person. Need for acceptance, in the case of check it is not required. Whereas in the case of bill, acceptance is required, signature. Days of grace is not allowed in the case of check. If the date is 20th November itself payment will be there. Whereas in the case of bills, 3 days of grace is allowed. Crossing the check. It is possible in the case of check, but it is not possible in the case of bill. If a check is cross, meaning you cannot negotiate. That condition is there. Account payee crossing, meaning through account only we can collect the payment. Whereas it is not possible in the case of bill. Act related. See, check is section 6 of the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 is defining the check. Whereas bills, section 5 of the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 is defining the bill of exchange. Validity for a check is 3 months. Earlier it was 6 months. Now it is reduced to 3 months. Bills, it's not applicable. It can be any, whatever the duration specified in the bill. Stamping is not required in the case of check, whereas it is required in the case of bill. Now we are coming to promissory note. Definition of promissory note. As per section 4 of the Negotiable Instruments Act, a promissory note is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional undertaking by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. See, bill of exchange and promissory note, more or less same definition, but there are many points of distinction also, that also I am going to explain. So this is the definition. You have to learn this because you may get as a question in the section A. Now, features of promissory note. Instrument must be in writing. Some features are very common. So, instrument like a bill of exchange, this also must be in writing. Then it is an undertaking to pay. You are promising on a future date you will make the payment. Now, promise to pay must be unconditional, without any condition. You have to make the payment. Instrument must be signed by the maker. Whoever making the instrument, they have to sign that. Now, stamping is required. We have seen that bill of exchange stamping is required, promissory note also stamping is required, whereas in the case of check it is not required. Now, amount to be paid must be certain and in legal tender money. So that I told you whether it is 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, whatever the amount, it should be in legal tender money. Now, payee must be certain. Payee must be certain, meaning to whom you are going to make the payment. That also should be certain. Going to make the payment to A or B or whoever that, it should be specified. The place and date is not required as per the act, but usually it is mentioned. Place and date, usually it is not required, it's not compulsory, but we are mentioning that also. Now, stamp is compulsory in the bill as per the Indian Stamp Act. We have seen that in the specimen, bill of exchange also, stamp is there, revenue stamp is there, promissory note also, the revenue stamp is posted. Now, specimen of the promissory note I have given, the stamp is there, then place Koramangala, Bangalore, November 20th, 2020. On demand, I promise to pay Arya Jacob or order the sum of rupees 2000 with interest at 14% per annum for value received. Signature is by Surya Jacob and 2 witnesses are also there in the case of promissory note. It was not there in the case of bill of exchange. Now, parties to a promissory note. Maker, it is the debtor who promised to make the payment. Bill of exchange, it's the creditor making the payment instrument. Here it is the debtor who is making the instrument. In this case, Surya Jacob is the maker. Now, payee, the person who receives the payment of the promissory note is the payee. Here, Arya Jacob is the payee. So, there are 2 parties in the promissory note. Whereas bill of exchange, we have seen that bill can be with 3 people or 2 parties. Now, the point I want to explain is promissory note versus bill of exchange. This is the last topic I want to explain in this module. Here also the distinction always in tabular form. Points of distinction. Points of distinction, promissory note, bill of exchange. Nature of payment, promissory note, it's a promise to pay. Bill of exchange, the word is different. It's an order to pay. So, promissory note, it's a promise. I am promising. My promise is value. Whereas bill of exchange, it's an order to pay. Now, parties involved, you have to remember promissory note, maker and payee are there. In the case of bill of exchange, 3 parties. We have seen that 2 parties also possible. Usually 3 parties in a bill of exchange, drawee, drawer and payee. Party drawing the instrument. In the case of promissory note, creditor is making the instrument. In the case of bill of exchange, debtor is making the instrument. Nature of instrument, promissory note is a single instrument. Whereas bill of exchange, in the case of foreign trade, it is issued as different parts because it has to travel a long distance, so that it is possible to issue as different parts, part A, part B, part C. Whereas promissory note, it's only one set. It cannot be issued as in sets. It cannot be issued. Now, next is need for acceptance. In the case of promissory note, not required as it is drawn by the debtor or the promisor. Whereas in the case of bill of exchange, it's required. The acceptance is required in the case of bill of exchange. Now, facility for discounting. In the case of promissory note, it's not allowed. You cannot go to the bank and you cannot discount the bill. Whereas in the case of bill of exchange, it is possible to discount with the bill with the rebate. Next is mode of payment. Cannot be made payable to the bearer. Whereas in the case of bill of exchange, made payable to the bearer. You can negotiate the instrument. Whereas in the case of promissory note, it is not possible. Stamping is compulsory in the case of promissory note, not compulsory in one case, in the case of demand bill. Demand bill, you know that it's in the case of check. Stamping is not required. Though it's a bill of exchange, it's not required, only in the case of demand bill. So this is the module I want to explain as a basic introduction for bill of exchange. We have to do the problems also that I will be explaining in the other modules. So this is what I want to explain, and you have to do the extra problems whatever I am giving in the description box for your practice. And always remember that whenever you are asked to write the distinction, it should be in a tabular form, and you have to write as full sentence. I have used only the bulleted points, words for my explanation. And please remember, give me a valuable feedback, share and subscribe to my channel, and happy learning with Dr. Alice Mani. Thank you.